Welcome back to my channel Techno Trend Zone. Let's dive deep into Apple's next table step upgrade, the M5 iPad Pro. It might seem like just another spec bump, but beneath the surface lies an architectural shift primed to pave the way for truly transformative hardware innovations. From supply chain evolution to bold display technology experiments, this isn't just about M5, it's about laying the foundation for Apple's next-generation iPads and foldable devices. Upgrade, M5 chip on TSMC's N3. Let's start with the most tangible update. Apple's move to the M5 processor, built on TSMC's advanced N3P node, promises up to 20% better performance and efficiency compared to the M4 chipset. While the M4 already delivered jaw-dropping speed for a tablet, the M5 will push the bar further, especially for pro workflows and heavy multitasking under iPadOS 26. Think faster rendering, smoother transitions, and more responsive multitasking than ever. The architecture will likely mirror Apple's efficiency-first CPU core layout, performance cores for intense tasks, plus high-efficiency cores to preserve battery life. For most users, the difference may be subtle, but for professionals editing 4K video or running demanding apps, the jump will be tangible. Timing, October launch in 2025. Apple tends to debut new iPad Pro models around October, and leaks point to a continuation of that rhythm for the M5 iPad Pro. The prior M4 version launched in May 2024, so an October 2025 reveal would be about a 17-month interval, staying close to Apple's typical 18-month refresh cycle. Expect pre-orders just after the keynote, with widespread availability shortly thereafter. No design shakeup, but eyes on the horizon. Don't expect a radical redesign this cycle. The current chassis, introduced with the M4 models, already elevated the design language with thinner bezels and integrated OLED panels. Instead, think of the M5 update as an evolution: same brilliant OLED screen, same sleek form factor, just faster, and marginally more efficient. However, the deeper significance lies beyond the visible shell. Apple is quietly laying the groundwork for future iPad experiences with supply chain strategy shifts and next-gen display tech. Supply chain realigned, Samsung plus LG share duties normally. Samsung Display handles the 11-inch OLED panels and LG takes the 13-inch screens. But reports, particularly from Korean sources, suggest that Apple is shifting to a dual-supplier approach. Samsung and LG will both produce OLED panels for both sizes in the upcoming iPad Pro. That's a move toward supply chain diversification, reducing reliance on a single supplier and increasing resilience across product lines. This preparation is likely a multi-year play, as Apple gears up to bring OLED to the iPad mini, 2026, and iPad Air, 2027. By securing both Samsung and LG as full-range suppliers now, Apple sets the stage for smoother OLED expansion across the entire iPad ecosystem. New display tech, COF versus traditional IC attachment. One of the most intriguing behind-the-scenes changes is Apple's exploration of chip-on-film display drivers, specifically LG's COF packaging. Unlike traditional display driver ICs that sit below the display glass, COF attaches the chip via flexible film at the display edge. The result? Notably slimmer bezels and more compact form factors without reducing screen size. Industry insiders like Instant Digital suggest that bezel thickness on future iPads could rival the Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra. While the M5 generation may not adopt the technology fully, this shift is a strong signal of where Apple's display design is headed. Driver IC shakeup, LX Semicon in the mix. Until now, Apple has exclusively used Samsung's system LSI for their OLED iPad Pro models. Now, they're rumored to be evaluating drivers from LX Semicon, a company whose chips are optimized for COF integration. Approval of these drivers would deepen Apple's supplier diversification, enhance negotiating leverage, and possibly drive down component costs due to competition, while Apple probably won't pass savings on directly through lower retail prices. This supply flexibility could boost margins or keep prices stable despite inflation and tariff pressures. Under the hood tweaks you might see. Though the outer design appears set, inside the M5 iPad Pro you may see standard 16GB RAM across all models, rather than limiting 16GB to only higher-end configurations. Wi-Fi 7 support, improving future-proofing for ultra-fast wireless connections, possibly slight internal layout tweaks to accommodate COF prototypes or new thermal management solutions. But again, no major external redesign is expected yet. What's next? M6, foldables, and roadmap vision. The most exciting part of this story isn't the M5, it's what it enables: Apple's long-term plan for foldable iPads and ultra-thin bezel architectures. Rumors suggest prototypes featuring foldable displays up to 18.8 inches when unfolded. We don't yet know whether Apple will use a vertical book fold style or horizontal tablet laptop fold But the infrastructure being built now, LG and Samsung panel scale, COF display drivers, LX semicon evaluation, are all strategic underpinnings for eventual foldable device production. Add in potential custom Apple 5G modems, and you have a roadmap toward iPads that are ultra-thin, foldable, powerful, and cell-connected, a fundamentally fresh category by the end of the decade. So, should you buy the M5 iPad Pro? If you already own an M4 iPad Pro, probably not. The improvements are modest and mostly relevant for power users. The OLED display, chassis design, and multitasking performance on M4 are still top tier, but if you're using an M1 or older non-OLED iPad Pro, the M5 will feel like a huge leap. OLED display tech, upgraded CPU, efficiency gains, increased RAM, and better wireless. Pro tip: after the M5 release, wait a week or two. You'll likely find discounted M4 units from third-party sellers. Given how close the two generations are, the M4 could be the sweet spot for value. Strategic narrative: Apple's quiet leap. The M5 iPad Pro isn't just an annual update, it's the quiet upgrade preceding a massive shift in Apple's product architecture. It's about supply resilience, component flexibility, display innovation, groundwork, foundational platform for foldables, internal efficiency gains. In effect, Apple is using the 2025 update to tighten everything underneath, preparing for future devices that break the mold, but only when the infrastructure is ready. Final thoughts and recommendations: if you're on M1 or older, M5 is worth the upgrade. Faster, better screen, extended longevity. If you just bought an M4, sit tight. You're already holding an elite device, and Apple will likely skip redesign until the next major cycle.